What the hell? I'm trying to pause the video. It's not working. Hang on a minute.
Every step aside, every road crossing.
Oh, stupid YouTube.
Every gate mind on public transport. Every space left between shopping trolleys. Everyone who keeps a safe distance.
What the hell?
Go out is helping stop the spread of COVID-19 because around 1 in 3 people who have.
I stopped it and it's still playing. What
are
the?
spreading it without knowing.
What the hell? Oh, it's finally stopped. Bloody thing. I think my browser's going to glitch. I'm going to close it. It's gone a bit funky on me. Okay, so I've been winding the coil. Right. I'll stick it into my phone caddy. I'm not pressing any buttons. I'll leave it kind of on the end. So yeah, my 3D printed. I wound it by hand actually. I was going to wind it on my wheel to rail, but the problem was the actual leverage. Because this thing's so big, and I didn't want to do it on fast forward because the wire kept running off the edge. Getting wrapped around the living adapter thing. So I thought, oh sod this, I'm just going to do it by hand. So anyway, I took it off and I used it. Well, I had a bit of wire that was left on this bobbin. Only a little bit of wire was on it, so I thought, well, let's just do a test coil. I'm not going to use loads and loads and loads of wire and then kind of have regrets later if it doesn't work. So I thought, well, let's just wind a test coil on here to see if it's actually going to work. So I've got to take my screws out now. I did use some mild glue just to hold this lid on, because as well as the screws, because I thought, well, the wires might go in the crack in between, and yeah, I don't want that to happen. And so I stuck some sellotape on it. So I've got to take my screws out. Oh yeah, I've wrapped cotton around through the slots. That one's got tape. I've got Captain tape running through these slots here and there, but cotton around the ends, so the wire's not going to go and spring everywhere, which would be a bad day if that happens. So I've got it basically tied in 4 corners, so we should be alright. Actually, I'll use my little screwdriver, it's a bit faster. It's just gonna, I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can see me over there. Just take the screws out. Right. The tricky part is going to be getting the wire off, and I did not taper it because I decided that because I've made this hollow at the back, there should be enough compression on it to get the wire off anyway. And I know, because I wound it by hand. I wound it on top of some sellotape actually. I put some sellotape around there to make it slippery so it would be easy to get off. Oh yeah, it's going to work, I think. So I've got to take the lid off. Stick my fingernail behind there and around the back of here. And we should be able to get this apart. I tend to get my hand in the way a lot when I'm doing these videos. I'm sorry about that. Let me just put the phone over here. Oops. Let me just see if that's going to work. Yeah, it's probably better. I'm sorry about that. I know I often get my hand in the way. I noticed in one of my videos you couldn't see a damn thing because I could put my hand there. Right. I did glue it slightly, so it's going to be a little bit awkward to get it off. I need some alcohol because the glue melts with alcohol. So I don't want my Captain tape to come off though. I don't want to get too much on there because, oh, there we go, it's coming now. Now I should be able to get my nail file in between the bobbin and the wire, prise this lid off. There we go. I've got the lid off. And there's my lid. So now all I've got to do now is take the wire off, get the wire off the former, and the sellotape underneath and make it slippery, so it should come off. Obviously, I can shape my wire a bit. I didn't wind it neatly because, let's face it, there's no point. It's going to get shaped by me squeezing on it anyway. So there we go. It's coming off. There's my coil. Get the sellotape off it. Alright, let me just put it on the table a minute while I get this mess off of here. The sellotape was simply there to make it so it would slide off a bit easier, which it did. Otherwise, the wire would have got stuck in the grooves of the 3D printer, and I would have made it really hard to get it off, you know. So just take this sellotape out. There's my coil. And as I say, this is all experimental, and if it turns out to be wrong, no big deal. At least I get to the Captain tape now, and I can wrap the piece around there that came off. I think the alcohol got to that. I really want to wrap some more tape around there, around this bit here. So I'm going to get my Captain tape because I want to put a bit more tape around there, just to hold everything. I've got the sniffles because of the acetone I was using earlier. It always makes my nose run. Where are we? Captain tape, where are you? Right, here we go. Right. I've got my thicker Captain tape now, so find the end. I just want about 6 inches. Oops. Right, because this is going to be a flat side. This part will be a bit of a flat. Oops, this is really sticky when you first get it off. Once you get your finger marks all over it, though, it doesn't work so well. So I'm trying not to get too many finger marks on it. I haven't done the support structure for the coil yet, so I decided I was going to do that part later because I want to shape the coil and I want to hold it in my fingers just to find the best position before I make a support ledge for the wire to sit on, so it doesn't fall into the spinning rotor assembly. So I thought, well, it's best to just find out first and then model something that will hold it later on. I need another bit of Captain tape for the other side. No, that's the end. I'm using Captain tape rather than sellotape because it's heat resistant, and also it doesn't stretch, so it tends not to it keeps the wire together a bit better. Another reason is it doesn't all go gooey on you after a lot of time, because sellotape has a tendency to go all sticky and horrible after a while. It sweats, the glue on it sweats, but this stuff doesn't. I don't want this to roll off too far one way, because otherwise I'll have to unwrap it again, so I'm trying to guide it on. Right, there we go. So right, let's just get my rotary system, that rotary thingy-majig. Right, so that should fit over. Yes, look at that, it fits over, look. So I've got some clearance either way. That's good. So the coil has to be shaped. So I hold the middle bits like this, then just bend that coil like that, and get the other. I'll just turn it around, it's easy. And then I bend that coil like that to get a shape that I want, if you see what I mean. I can actually hold that one. I can bend it like that, because this is a really strange shaped coil, obviously. It's pretty similar to actually what you would see on a conventional transformer, really, or a generator, probably. But so what I'm looking at, I'm trying to get this shape just right. I'm doing it by eye only. There's no need to measure it. I can always bend it back if it's not right, but I want these bits flatter. I want it to be flat in that plane, so that it doesn't catch on the rotor. So I'm flattening it that way as well. So there's my coil I've just shaped, and it should sit like this. And it does, but it might catch unless I put a support structure on there for it to sit on. You can see how my coil will sit. These parts in the middle will not generate power because they're extremely close to their magnets and they're not moving anyway. The parts that generate the power will be these cross sections here and these edges here. So everything from this point to all the way around to that point. Let me just get my ruler, my screwdriver point. Everything from this point here all the way around to that point will be the part that's generating. So obviously I need some support structure, otherwise this. And looking at it, I need to bring this down, these things down a bit. I'm trying not to bend it in the wrong place so that it starts to collide with the rotor as well. So that's my shape now. So it'll be interesting to see what this does when I get it running. I haven't checked the DC resistance on it yet, but have we got clearance? Yeah, look at that. We've got a good about 2 or 3 millimeters of movement side to side on there. Clearance doesn't give us a great margin for error though. If that wheel's spinning and I hold this coil in there, it's going to catch on stuff. I've got to make sure there's nothing sharp going to catch them wires, because it will just rip the wires. So I've got to be careful about that. It's not because they're bad at the bottom, it's just these steel bits. If they oops, drop the damn thing now. if it gets caught on that steel, it might rip the wire. So what I'm probably going to do is I need to print something on the top there that sticks out, that I can rest the coil. Oh, hang on, somebody at the door. Give me a minute. Thank you. Thank you. Just a pharmacy. Right. So yeah, I'll probably model. I've got a little bit of filament left, so I was able to. Obviously, I had enough filament to print my coil guide to wind it on, and I've still got a little bit left. There should be enough to print a shelf. A shelf is what I'm looking for. A little shelf that will sit on here, that will sit just above this rotor, so that when I put the coil on, it can sit on the shelf instead of catching on the rotor as it spins. So I need to make a little shelf actually. It actually was thought my cap that I was using on the rotor before, I could cut that up actually. I could cut that up and use that as a shelf. That would work. Yeah, I could cut that up to use as a shelf to rest the coil on. Yeah, why not? Because I can print another one of these when I get my filament out of orders, so it'll save me having to print something. So I could make just cut this with scissors, just cut that and then bond this, stick this with acetone plastic onto that hub, this middle bit, and then I can just stick the coil on it. Then if the rotor caught on this, it won't matter, it won't damage the wires. I just don't want to risk putting it I just don't want to risk putting this on here and then get them bits of steel. I mean, there's still bits sticking up. If that catches on that wire, it's just going to destroy it. It'll probably fly across the room or something, and I don't want to risk that. No, after I just spent ages doing it. Another thing, I could wind another one of these coils, and have it sit inside this coil to add extra turns on. Or another coil slightly larger. I could scale up at some point. I could scale this thing up to be slightly bigger, so that I can wind another coil that will effectively sit around this one, if you get what I mean. I could double my turns up, so that each one of these I could make it one bigger and one smaller to increase the number of turns effectively around this. But I am eager to test this out. Yeah, I'll need a shelf underneath as well. So the one underneath might be a problem, because I can bond the top shelf against this, because that's big. But this smaller one, yeah, I'm not so worried. There's nothing much down there that would catch it anyway, so that won't be such a big problem. But it's just the top shelf that I really need to worry about. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what that does. I can't wait. I can't wait, but I've got to wait, because I've got to sort the shelving thing problem out. So, because you can see how much clearance there is. There's no way I'm going to be able to hold that. There's no way I can hold that really carefully without it catching on that metal that's spinning around really, really fast. And then wires are fragile. I mean, it doesn't take much to rip the wire, because it's only 30 SWG wire. It's pretty thin stuff, so I don't want to risk that. But we can get the idea now. You can finally see how it comes together. And as I said previously, what's interesting about this is it might actually turn out to be a DC coil, but because the rotor assembly, these steel, because it's moving, it's actually a moving core, because it's not staying inside the coil, it's moving through the coil. So as it moves, the coil will not become oversaturated, because the core that's there will be one pole. It will become another pole once it passes those magnets, so it's not going to be oversaturated. So it is going to change polarity as it's moving, but the coil won't mind, because it will no longer be the core will no longer be inside the coil when it changes polarity. So this the coil itself is not going to be fussy about the fact that the core is producing a DC voltage, which is probably what it'll do. We'll have to see. Yeah, I could feel it catching just then, actually. Oh yeah, I could wrap some tape around there to protect it a bit. I could do that as well, but that's just going to make the gap tighter and tighter. The shelf is going to be the best option, I think. So I'll just put my coil down a minute. Where's my scissors gone? Let's see about this plastic now. The shelf, I would have to. Well, actually, there's marks where it was on the drum. I can just follow those. I'll cut a piece out of this now. Actually, I'm just going to cut it across there. I can see lines where it was on the drum. I'll cut it across there, and the piece I want disappears. So there's a bit. I can print more of them at any time. So there's my shelf. I want to stick that in. I think I'll leave the shiny side facing down. So let's just see how that will sit. Yeah, that'll work. That'll sit on the shelf really well. I just realised the pharmacy was pretty early. I think they've been a bit overrun with work list lately, so if I stick that on there, then I can put a little plastic support structure on it to prevent that from sagging like that. Actually, I've got a better idea. What I can do is just drill some small holes underneath to support this on. Yeah, I can do that later. I think for now I'll just stick something over the top blue tack wise to hold this up. Or yeah, so let's see what I've got lying around here. I might have some plastic stuff lying around that I can use to. I think I can use this bit of scrap plastic to anchor it, just to stop it from flopping down. I can just stick that on top with some glue or just blue tack temporarily to hold that thing up. So I would stick this. Let's just stick. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to super glue this onto that, I'm going to super glue that onto the top of there. This is just temporary for now, so I want to be able to test it and try it out at some point. Don't know if I'm going to do it in this video though, but if I just hold that like that and put a bit of glue and super glue underneath. Did I get some on? Yeah, there is now. And stick that on like that without getting it on my fingers. It's moving around. I need to hold that in place for 10 seconds. I don't want to stick my fingers on it, so I'll take them off. Oh, there's a bit big. I've got this upside down really, but that should work. This was the flattest side. I should have stuck that down first. That's alright. I think it's stuck anyway. It's already stuck on. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. I'll super glue this on. Oh, it's come off now. Now I'm going to turn it over and stick the other side down because I can't touch the other side now because it's all super glued. Let's just push that down with my nail file. The flat side will stick down a lot better. It's a bit of a funny shape. This is actually support material. This is right. So that should now sit on top of there. Yeah, it does. Get this in the middle like that. Oops! Come off. It doesn't want to stick. Why the hell? Oh, I know why. There's not enough glue on the back. I'm going to move this around here a bit further actually, like that. I can't put it in the middle because that magnet magnet in the middle sticks up, so I've got to put it to one side. Don't stick my fingers. I'm just going to press this down on something. Hang on a minute. Get down, you bugger. Alright, I stuck it on the fire hearth and pressed down so it would. This is just temporary. I'll print something, I'll design something in SketchUp, and I'm hoping that my filament arrives today. It probably won't. It sometimes gets here early. So I should be able to stick that on there. This will stop it from sagging. This orange thing, like that. I should be able to get my coil on top of there as well. Let's see. Oh, damn it! I've just realised that it's in the way of the coil now. Yeah, I need to design something in SketchUp that's going to work, because that's not going to work now. This flipping orange thing's in the way. I never thought of that. At least it hasn't stuck properly, so it's come off. I'm not having much joy at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to put this down right lower. That's what I need to do. I need to keep it low because there's not much room for clearance for the coil. So if I stick that down there, what I'm going to do is, instead of using that super glue because it's so blooming fast, I'm going to use my ABS slurry. My ABS plastic slurry to take the needle off. I don't need that. I don't want to get it between the... I don't want to get this stuff between the drum and this, otherwise it'll never turn. So I'm going to put that like that. I'm going to hold it really tight against the drum, and I'm going to put some ABS slurry. This dries pretty quick, by the way, so just put some of that on. And I'll hold it against the hub so it doesn't drip in between the hub. Move that back a bit. I'm just going to wait a few minutes, hold it like that with my fingers. I'll show you why. Put the needle back on before it clogs up. right? I need a gap between this and the drum. While it's drying, because it takes quite a while to dry, I'm going to get a spacer and put it underneath to raise this slightly, and it will scrape the plastic up the side of the hub. And I want to hold it there just a minute so it doesn't drip between the hub and the drum. So I need a spacer. Now, what can I use as a spacer? Actually, I've just the thing. I'm just going to put this down a minute. I have just the thing. Oh, it turns anyway. Look, look at that. It's rubbing a bit at the moment. See, it's already sticking. I need a CD. Well, a hard drive platter. I've got some old hard drive platters in here. It's come out of a hard drive, which I can just create my ideal space, which has got to be pretty close tolerance. So I'll stick my hard disk, which is about, I'll measure it and tell you how thick these are, because they're pretty thin really, but this is 0.81 millimeters thick. It's probably 0.8 millimeters thick, but there's a bit of crap on it. So the reason I use these hard disk platters is they're very flat, so when I put something on it, I know it's perfectly flat. It's great for gluing two things together and sticking them on here, or just use them for when I'm acetone treating stuff, so that it keeps the base flat. Now if I stick this underneath here and hold that down, it should lift it by 0.81 millimeters to give me my space all the way around. There we go. So now this shouldn't rub on it. There we go. It's going to sag though, so I'm going to keep it in while it dries. I'm going to keep that in there while this thing dries to become to. Oops! I went and prized it then. Aha, no problem. I'll just stick it back. Make sure it's flat and press this down again. So what I need to do is just hold that together on there, holding this shelf, sandwich with this sandwich in between it, because these are actually made out of glass. Did you know that? Hard disk platters are actually made out of glass. I know that because I went and dropped one and actually broke it and it shattered. Actually made of glass. Couldn't believe it. I thought they were aluminium. They're not. So I'm gonna leave that for a few hours. I need something to clamp it really. Will my clamp work? No, it's not big enough. No, I know what I'll do. I've got my vise. I'm gonna try holding it together with my vise, but I don't want any pressure on it because this is glass, it'll shatter. So actually I'm going to try and take the phone in the other room and show you what I mean. Take the phone off here. Come off. Right, I'm blocking the camera again. Just a minute. Just a minute. I've got to put my fingers around. Where's them buttons? I don't want to press any buttons. Right. I've got some rubber. There's some rubber things on here, so if I can, oh shit, how do I hold that? Right, I need to move that in a bit. I need to pop my phone up now. Just a minute. That'll stand on its end a minute. Actually, I'll take it off a minute because it'll stay soft for ages. Still a gap there, look. I'll pop my phone up on here. You should be able to see it. Where's the camera? It's at the other end. If I flip this over, no, I better not because the button's on the other side. I want something heavy to hold this. I think that'll work. Right, so I'm going to leave this disc in here, and I'm just gently, if I can get this in here, I've closed it too much now. I don't want any pressure, I just want to hold it together while it's drying. Just make sure that's in, yeah. I need to back this out a bit. Alright, turn that in a bit. Okay, it's got it. Okay, so I'll clamp that gently, very gently in the vise. Most of the pressure is on the drum, onto the rotor drum. Between rubber, it's got rubber things, so it won't put too much pressure in any one area. And I'm going to leave that till tomorrow to really dry nice and well. And then I'll come back and stick some little struts between here and here as a bit of stiffening, just to stop this from warping and curling or anything. I'll just put some super glue some little struts on there to strengthen it. But yeah, I'm going to let this dry first. It's going to take probably till tomorrow for this ABS plastic I stuck on there to dry anyway, so we can't make these things happen too quickly, can we? And I can't tighten this up too much because it would crack the glass, so the disc, so I'm just going to leave it. Right. At least you've seen my coil. I really wanted to try it today, but as I say, there's plenty of time. But you see this, you can see the shape of it now. Okay, bye for now.